Do you want to know where to meet guys? Hi, I'm Antia Boyd.
And I'm Brody Boyd.
And together we're the creators of the Magnetize the Man method. So I hear this question all the time. Where are all the guys? Okay, so that's why we did this video today. And why do you want to know about that? Because you want to stop wasting your time looking in the wrong places, doubting and questioning yourself, and really living in confidence, knowing where to go, investing your time wisely into the events that you attend.
Yeah, so first off, maybe we should start with what we are not fans of. So places not to find guys, we don't recommend. We're not big fans of online dating. So we'll start with that. We're not big fans of online dating because, for one, we met each other. So maybe we'll start with where we met each other. We met each other in person. We met each other at a workshop. It was a meetup group in Waikiki. We were living in Hawaii at the time, both of us. Mm-hmm. We met at a spiritual discussion group, and we started talking after the group was over, and we connected, and I invited her to another meetup, and we ended up kissing under the Hawaiian moon later that night, and the rest is history. But we have a lot of our clients who have also met their partners offline. And so we're not saying don't do any online dating, but don't rely on it. Don't rely on online dating, because the reason why is we found you can waste a lot of time trying to find people online, trying to connect with them, trying to see if there's a spark, weeding through a lot of junk. And you also get what's called the paradox of choice, where so many options can be a little overwhelming, and you're less satisfied when you actually choose an option. And when you meet in person, you actually get to see who this person really is. When you're at a social event, a social group, you get to actually see if there's a connection, if you're actually attracted, the energy, if there's a chemistry, and you know all that within seconds of meeting the person. As opposed to online, which can take hours or days, when you're going back and forth to connect. So those are some of my thoughts on why we don't like online dating. Any thoughts you have to contribute to that?
Yeah, and also it's so much in categories, right? I mean, Brody's 4 years younger than me, and he's not a PhD.
Yeah, if we were relying on online dating, we wouldn't even met each other. We would have filtered each other out, because people get too focused on the superficial aspects too with online dating. So you might be missing your life partner because of some little tweak in the filters.
I mean, you can't really miss him. We really believe you can't miss him, but you can certainly delay the whole situation. So why would you do that, right? Every minute, every day is precious. So let's go into places where to meet men, okay? Where to meet guys. Where are those guys? Okay, so I know, I want to say more like they're not in bars. I keep going like where they're not. I'm sure you know that already. And why don't you say real quick, like why they're not in bars?
Well, I'll say in a caveat with that is you can meet your man potentially anywhere, because it only takes one. You only need one, so you never know where he might pop up. So generally, I'd say it could be anywhere, but there's places we found it's less likely. Like the bars, I'd say it's less likely because you tend to meet guys that are more wanting to just have fun, wanting to play around, wanting to party. I mean, literally a bar is like a party 24/7, when it's open. So it's guys that are not so serious. And then when alcohol gets involved, judgment is inhibited. People just want to hook up, have sex, whatever. And it's generally going to be hard to find guys that are wanting a long-term commitment, who are quality, who have a good head on their shoulders, who have goals in their lives, who are doing great things in the world. It's possible, like I said, but less likely. So that's why we're not big fans of bars.
Okay, so look, it's really individual where you find the man. Okay, so if you're athletic, you find him in a swimming club, in a bicycle race, right? Like there's a lot of athletes that are single and that are quality. Because why? Because they take care of themselves. It's already a really good indication, right? And also they have drive. They have something going for them that gets them out of bed every morning. I remember years ago when I came to US, I went to a 5:30 swim team and 6 o'clock running, and I met the most amazing people, men and women there, right? So like one thing is like really fine, but again, I love swimming, I love running. So of course you have to find something that you love to do, because otherwise you meet an athlete and expect to share that kind of life with him, and then you're like, well, just kidding, I just wanted to attract someone, now I'm going back to my old life. Yeah. So it's got to be authentic.
Yeah, that's a great point that the lovely Antia brought up here.
The lovely Brody.
Is you want to be clear on your purpose in life. What are your goals? What do you really want to create in the world? What legacy do you want to leave? Why are you here? Because when you're clear on your purpose, it's easier to get clear on what kind of groups, events, hobbies, places are likely to have other people who are on the same kind of purpose, who are looking at similar goals in life or similar interests. Because that's going to, like what Antia said, make it much more easy for you to find those men. So one thing we recommend to find good places where to meet quality guys, where to meet guys, is make a list of your top goals and things you're passionate about in life, your purpose, and then write out what are all the places where other guys who are interested in those things might be hanging out. What are some places you haven't thought of going that you would actually like to go to that are in line with your purpose? It could be different classes you want to take. It could be different workshops. It could be networking groups. It could be conferences. It could be meetups. It could be maybe a new organization you want to get a part of, or a spiritual center, or a religious place. There's so many different groups and hobbies and interests now in our modern day that you can find using places like meetup.com or Google. You can find so many different groups in your area that are sharing similar interests. So now you're making it much more likely that you meet guys that you connect with, that you actually can resonate with, and they can resonate with you. And just like with me and Antia, you can have this instant connection right away because you're filtering now for people who have a shared interest in you, like-mindedness, as opposed to randomness of bars or public events, things where it's just potpourri, anybody might be showing up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, that's really the piece. It's more about like really getting out of your head and saying, well, I always go to these events and there's all just women there, or I go to these events and I never meet quality men, right?
Only
So
takes one.
you have to give up wanting to be right? You have to be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to be surprised by the universe, right? By something bigger and higher than yourself. Because look, when I went to this meetup, there was no one else there. They were all like 20 years my senior, and Brody was the only one. Again, it only takes one, okay? It doesn't matter if it's a man event or whatever, right? You can also go, horse races, really great places to go meet men, right? So it's lots of places where it's really specifically heavy. There's a majority of men attending, but again, it's more about you following your intuition, feeling that nudge, right? That I felt on the beach in Hawaii, that it led me to go on Meetup and then find that group and say, what, that sounds great. 3 p.m. discussion group, okay? Sounds awesome on a Sunday afternoon, So that's really what you're following, right? Because maybe other times Brody wouldn't have been there. So you can't just be very mechanic about it. You have to be organic with it.
Yeah, and we hear women all over the world saying, "Oh, there's no good men in my city. There's no good men here," and besides that, we have women in those same cities who are working with us who are attracting their guys. They're getting married. So it's all possible. It's all a story. You have to change your story inside to start creating what you want on the outside. So you have to start believing that it's possible, believing that the men are there, and that it just takes one. It just takes one quality man, and he will come to you when you've done the work and hired a coach and started the journey towards really getting everything in order for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a note behind my windshield wiper. I met somebody in traffic, like in LA. It's always traffic, right? So you never ever know, right? So I met somebody in the grocery store, in a sausage aisle. So like really let go of that old belief. So if you're really struggling with this and you're like, gosh, I don't even really know, it's more than just like not knowing where to go. It's also my mindset, it's really my beliefs about myself, really struggle with vulnerability or, self-worth, to set the boundaries and stay strong, I invite you to come on a Magnetize the Man clarity call with me so we get crystal clear on what is really getting in the way of you attracting the right man for you. And while it is valued at $197, like right now I'm offering that for completely complimentary. Okay, so for that, hop on over to magnetizetheman.com, and grab your slot as long as they last, because they are limited.
Yeah, and for the women who book within 1 hour of this video being posted, we're also including the first training module of our Magnetize the Man course when you sign up for your call. So a very special gift. We love to give you support. We want to help more women. And because the other thing is, you're going to need more support. You're going to need a container of accountability and somebody who's been there before to guide you along the journey, or else you'll continue to attract men that aren't available to you. You're continuing to be alone and missing and not knowing what to do. That's going to get you, and what's blocking you from having that love in your life. So it's very important. So again, magnetizetheman.com we'd love to support you there and get you the man, be happier once and for all. So hope this is helpful. Much love. We look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Mwah.